This week we're going to take a look at the U.S. soybean harvest progress here as the month of November begins, as well as short-term weather forecast. Then we're going to switch gears and look at what's happening in Brazil and South America with a very rapid start to their planting season. We're going to wrap things up looking at the short-term weather trends for Brazil into mid-November. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved to the month of November here and we're looking at the final stages of the U.S. soybean harvest. Before we look at that though, let's briefly look at long-term trends in November soybean futures. Now the crop insurance period expired here, or was set I should say, in the month of October for soybeans. Here's the key message now moving forward. With November 22 futures at $14.35 or $4.25 above the 5-year average, we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to defend your balance sheet. Keeping in mind now, there is no longer the backstop, quote-unquote, protection from crop insurance. It's not too early to think about 2023, particularly with November 2023 soybean futures near $13.90 a bushel, and still about 4 months to go before that base crop insurance price is set. Let's now come back and take a look at harvest progress in the U.S. This will be the last time we look at soybean harvest progress because it has been so rapid this year. 88% done nationwide versus 78% on average. Each and every one of those green states, or highlighted in the green circles, is above the 5-year average. Now if we look at the long-term trends, again, it really stands out looking at that blue box there at 88%, well above some of these recent years here. On average, we'll be looking at another 13%. Effectively, we should be done with soybean harvest, weather permitting, by mid-November. Speaking of weather, let's take a look at the short-term trends. All our weather slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're looking here over the next 7 days, and it does look like we're going to have some much-needed moisture in the wheat country there out in Kansas, Oklahoma, hopefully for those folks. But in terms of soybean harvest, it is going to be wet for any remaining fields there west of the Mississippi River, primarily on Friday and Saturday of this week. As we move further east into the Corn Belt, it does look like it's going to be drier, so hopefully any remaining fields in the eastern Corn Belt will be able to be wrapped up. Let's now shift our attention to South America, specifically looking at Brazil. Critical now as we move into November to monitor the crop prospects in Brazil. Let's take a look at where those soybeans are produced in Brazil. Now a wide range of states here from north to south in Brazil. The number one producing state is Mato Grosso at about 25% of the soybeans, but it goes all the way down into Paraná in the south at 17%, and Rio Grande do Sul at 14%. Key states also include Minas Gerais, Goiás, as well as Mato Grosso do Sul. Specifically this week, we're going to focus on what's going on in Mato Grosso. Reason being is that Mato Grosso is planting beans as we speak here aggressively, looking at 83% planted here as of the end of October, well above the 5-year average for this time of year. What does that mean? Well, what we want to highlight is rapid soybean planting would promote an early harvest in early 23, which would in turn support resumption of exports from Brazil early next year, in competition, of course, with the U.S. Let's now take a look at the weather trends in Brazil. We're looking here first at a 30-day precip map here, more of a proxy, if you will, for subsoil moisture here in Brazil. Key point I want to mention is really there's no states that are too wet or too dry, with one exception. Down in the south, Rio Grande do Sul is quite dry, and a little bit of dryness up in the northeast, but primarily it's been a near ideal start for quite a bit of the crop in Brazil. Now let's look forward here to next week. We're looking at some scattered showers coming in around November 9th to the 13th, all across those areas. Again, picture, if you will, in the Midwest, May, early June, when the crop is planted, a good shower would give that crop a good start. So all in all, for the most part, Brazil is off to a fine start here for their crop. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. We want to remind you that next week on Wednesday, November 9th, we'll be live on YouTube at approximately 11:20 Central Time to discuss the critical November 9th USDA crop production report. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.